Hello, this is one of my extra videos. I was just talking about going and playing D&D, and actually thought, let's explain a little bit more because yeah, if you don't play, it's a little bit of an interesting one. Anyway, so D&D stands for Dungeons and Dragons. It is a normally tabletop role-playing game, or TTRPG, which you play as a mixture of kind of storytelling, dice rolling, and chance, and there's a bit of gambling there with the dice rolls. But basically, it's a group of friends who get together and tell a story, and there is a person who runs it called a game master or a dungeon master, who kind of creates the framework for the story, but then the players kind of fill in all the extra bits and know, even if you're using a pre-prepared adventure, as it's called, or an adventure book, no adventure is ever exactly the same depending on the party. So yeah, depending on who the people are, how experienced they are as players, how much roleplay they're willing to do, all that kind of stuff. No adventure is the same, regardless of kind of the framework that it starts on. So I currently play in 3 games. I completely blame my lovely friend Jack for introducing me to Dungeons and Dragons. Jack, I went to school with Jack, so I've known him for almost 20 years, probably about 20 years. And when I saw him, I think it was in the summer after lockdown 1, they were talking about kind of their weekly game, and I got intrigued. We'd been doing a lot of kind of Zoom calls with lots of school friends during lockdown just to kind of keep sane a bit, and they'd mentioned it, so I was like, okay, tell me about it. And we spent the nicest Sunday just texting backwards and forwards, talking about it, seeing if he thought that I would be a good fit for the group, creating a character. And in it, I found an outlet of creativity that I forgot I had. When I was at school in sixth form, I was actually pretty much for my entire teenage years, I absolutely loved drama. I loved acting, I loved the backstage, I loved coming up with little set pieces. It was just something I really enjoyed. Now, I couldn't do theatre studies at A-level because of the school I went to. I moved to a boys' school, and normally theatre studies was the realm of the girls' schools. Don't get me started on that. But I couldn't do it as an A-level because actually what I wanted to do was maths, and maths was more important than the theatre studies. Theatre studies was just kind of a hobby, but I really enjoyed it and I was good at it. So when I was in sixth form, rather than studying theatre studies, I got very involved in all of the amateur dramatic stuff that I could. The school put on plays every year. I was very lucky to be chosen to be one of the lead roles in both years that I was in sixth form. I got to perform on the stage of our local theatre. I just really enjoyed it. The extrovert in me is very happy performing. It's why I like dancing, it's why I like doing this. And I think I'd lost it a little bit as an adult, of kind of that outlet. I didn't particularly want to join an amateur dramatic society, particularly with people I didn't know. At school it was safe because it was the people I knew. So yeah, and one of the things I think in the last 5 years since becoming a mother, and a lot of mums will say this, is you lose your identity slightly, and you have to work really hard to keep that identity and keep the non-mumminess in you, because you do become known as child's names mummy, and that's fine. That's a natural part of being a parent. But one of the ways that Dungeons and Dragons has really been a positive effect on me is actually it's allowed part of Sophie that wasn't there or hadn't been there for a long time to come out again. So that kind of creative, silly, willing to try anything part of me has definitely come out through Dungeons and Dragons. And the point I realised that was actually when I offered to DM, and then was a couple of weeks into DMing, being a dungeon master, for the crochet and knitting friends that I had made. And I went, actually, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I started it because I thought it'd be really nice to try and get a group together of people that I had met through this wonderful hobby, because there were a few of us that were really interested in it. But actually what I realised afterwards was, or a few weeks in, was, ooh, whoops, that's my dice, was that it had brought back a part of my personality that I think had been buried a little bit, as I kind of came through young adulthood and left school and went to uni and did other things. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to have a game every week with people who've known me since I was a teenager and who know how to push my buttons and who know pretty much everything about me, and we can just be a bit silly together, and I feel it's a safe space for me. It is definitely a safe space for me. And then the Crafty Dragons group that I run is another safe space, because actually I think, again, a lot of us, this is a part of our personalities that we don't get to flex very often. Like, a few of us are mums, we've all got pulls on our time, responsibilities, like houses to keep, jobs to go out to, parenting duties, pet parent duties, all that kind of stuff. That I think that kind of having that space, one thing I've realised, actually, well, one thing I think all of us have realised in the group is that because we've come together with this kind of shared experience and this shared interest, because it's a little bit different, because we can be a bit silly, it has created more of an opening up of having space to be able to be vulnerable as well. So there's been a lot of supportive conversations that have happened in that chat on those Zooms, that I don't think we would have had it not been for D&D. And then my most recent game, which is my Friday night game, or for every other Friday night game, which is run by Tom, who is Helen of Giddy Yarn's husband, is just something different, and it's allowed me to try a different character, to try a different part of my personality, to be DM'd by someone I don't actually know very well, and see how I deal with a kind of slightly different dynamic of group. But I'm glad I did that after I'd done the other two games. So that's kind of why I play in 8 minutes. It's a really, for me, it's escapism. It's about being able to explore that kind of part of my personality that doesn't get to be flexed very often. And it's about being around people that I feel comfortable with, and generally having that time where you're not thinking about life and all the responsibilities that you have as an adult. So yeah, that's D&D in a nutshell for me. And now I'm going to show you the pretties. My absolute essentials, even though I play all online games, are dice. I crocheted this bowl. This is a crocodile stitch bowl. Literally, I made it up on the fly. It's just a circular bottom, crocheted with yarn held triple, I think. And this was kind of a prototype. The base is too big for the bag that I wanted to make, because I was making a bag for Jack, my first DM. And the base was too wide, so I kind of stopped it as a bowl, but it's perfect for what I have. And then I'll show you one of each of the collections I have. I think that's it. Is that it? Yes. So I've got 6, technically. I've got this lovely pink set, which I absolutely love. This is my favourite one. One of the reasons why I love this is not because it's pink. because paintbrush can take or leave, but it's because the numbers are really clear. Absolutely love it. Then this is my most recent purchase. This is kind of unicorn, basically. It's purple, green, blues, clear with a silver text. And again, I like the numbers because they're clear. This is what I'm calling the Galaxy one. So sparkle, there is sparkle, if you can see. Let's cover my face. There we go. Blues and kind of like a gold as well. And then this is my green layers. I love these ones. These are kind of, I would say my second favourite after the pink, with silver, and then a kind of blue pearlescent one. I recently also bought some festive, it was a palette. So all of my dice come from Mint and Mustard. There are other dice purveyors, but what I liked about their palettes is, that's a really good angle, they've basically created a 7 dice set. You have 7 dice in D&D. You have a D20, which is your main one, so 20-sided dice, and then you have your normal D6 or 6-sided die, and then you have everything from a D4, which is this little this little triangle, 4-sided die. This is a D8. You've got a D10, a D12, which isn't my favourite because it's clear and it's got gold numbers, so you can't really read it very well. And then this is a percentile dice. So if you roll this and a D10 together, and it gives you percentage. But yeah, I really like this palette because it is Christmas colours, or traditional Christmas colours, but yeah. The other thing I absolutely adore, and really is absolutely, I thought it would be, when I got this, and I got this as a gift from a dear friend for my birthday, this is a dice tower. This is actually built for children. It's a dice tower. And it's got a dragon at the top, and basically, you won't be able to see, but there are slopes inside that allow you to just drop the dice in. Let's do the 20. You drop the dice in at the top, and it will come out and roll it without kind of you having to. And it's a big deep box that you can kind of keep your dice in, rather than having them roll all around the table or whatever. So yes, I love my dice tower. It's actually invaluable as a DM because it means I can roll dice without the players seeing them. And if you were playing in person, you'd be behind like a DM screen, so they wouldn't be able to see your rolls if you didn't want them to. But obviously, when you are playing online, you have the choice of digital dice, or you have the choice of trusting people. I trust my Monday night lot. They're not very good at lying. Can I say that? Yeah, they're pretty honest. So yeah, it's nice. Right, I'm gonna go and play and be DM. I don't know when this one will go up, but you'll see it in the episode title. This might actually go up before when I'm filming. It'll make sense, maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.